That's fine. And I think, I think, I think, I think, I think 3 minutes is good. No, okay, well, maybe we'll wait a few more minutes. Who here has experience in reading? Like, who has been reading for a while? I know I've been reading for quite some time. I don't know if anybody else here has been reading for a while. Or what kind of education you guys have in tarot card reading. And there's lots of websites that you guys can go to that do exactly the same thing where they teach you how to read. Some of it's free, some of it is I go off of how you feel when you're reading your cards because it's all about you. I've been read, but I am brand new. Yeah, good. Welcome to the tarot. Welcome to tarot. It's a fun thing, and let me tell you, buying tarot cards gets addicting. I find myself buying tarot cards. Welcome back, Reegs. Well, welcome back. I find myself buying tarot cards even if I don't need them, but then I end up giving them away to somebody else. So when I go into a store, an occult shop or a bookshop, and I see tarot cards, I'm immediately drawn to it. So I go over there. If nothing is calling to me, I don't usually buy unless I find something that I like. And then if I buy it, it's usually meant for somebody else and not me. I have a set. I bought them in Salem at PAX East, but haven't used them yet. Ooh, nice, Enola. I have never practiced it, but the shop here does classes monthly, and I've just had to wait. Ms. Gothic, I feel you. Hello, Joshua. What's your shot call name? Just so I know who I'm calling you by. Oh, no worries, no worries. I did post. Is this Mystic? Myth. Okay, I thought it was Myth. I thought it was. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so Shot Call is the place where we go and we schedule a session. If anybody is really interested in Shot Call, I highly suggest checking it out. Since you've signed up for this class, you already have the link. And it's a place where you can come and you can actually schedule events, all types of events. And you can also, if you have and wanted to charge for an event, you can do that as well. If you wanted it to go towards a charity event, you can do that as well. So Mythweaver, yes. That's why I'm waiting a little bit. I want to make sure everyone is able to join in. Because this is new to me as well. This is my first actual session with Shot Call. And we are utilizing YouTube's unlisted and private section. Where Twitch, unfortunately, doesn't have that. They have a subscriber only. And not everyone who's joining here is a subscriber. So I figured we'd hold it out on YouTube. Plus, if it's on YouTube, it can be replayed for you to go back to. Yeah, I think it's really cool. And for those of you that followed me on Shot Call, I'm going to follow you back. And Miss Gothic classes in person, drives me insane as well. Like my anxiety. I don't like being in group settings. And being at home, I can teach you anything you want. I can teach you. I'm a accredited teacher. I'm an accredited teaching coach, not a teacher. So I do have a certificate in coaching, being a life coach, coaching people. I'm working on my next degree for coaching, so I can get a full-on certification for teaching. And back in the day when I owned my own healing business, that is what I used to do. I'm a Reiki master. If you don't know what Reiki is, I can tell you what that is, but I'm a Reiki master. So I am allowed. Oh, Ake, thank you. I don't think Ake can see me, but I am allowed to teach Reiki and certify you, meaning giving you diplomas in that section. I also used to teach angel card readings, tarot cards, divination of like tea leaves, a whole bunch of stuff I used to do. That is a follow on there. Yeah, right? Right? It's all through XSplit, Reegs. That was all through XSplit. Right? I don't have anything else here. So, kind of cool, right? Yeah. Okay, so I think it's of time. I think we've waited enough. I don't want to waste your guys' time, so we can get this started. Can we get that on Twitch? I don't know. This is for YouTube only. No worries, Miss Gothic. You know, teaching people the basics is really, I don't see a point in charging people for basics. It's getting to know their cards. If you want to go in depth, then that's a whole other story. And if you want to get certified, that's a whole other story, right? I know, Reegs. Thank you. So welcome, guys. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for signing up on shotcall.gg for this Tarot Basic 101 lesson and course. I do have 2 hours booked for this slot, but we don't have to be the whole 2 hours. It really dependent on what you guys are getting out of it. If you have any questions, if you have any practicing, I would like to do this as a bi-weekly event. I might even do weekly event where you guys practice reading on one another as well. It's just dependent on time. Do you mind? Dependent on time, right? Right? Shave the fusa. That would be an ache thing. But thank you again. Thank you. I appreciate you guys coming here, taking the time out of your day and signing up for this class. We're going to go over several different cards. We're going to go over tarot cards. We're going to go over angel cards, ascended masters. Like this one, you guys know I use this one in the stream every day. There is an ascended masters deck, which are oracle cards. They are different than angel cards. And then I have my Archangel Michael cards. And then I have my indigo cards for indigo children, which I use at different times. I also have my private deck, which is a true tarot deck compared to these angel cards and oracle cards. I just don't show that because it's my personal one, and I keep them wrapped and covered from any outside energies because they're just specifically for me. These are the cards that I was given when I was 16 years old, so they're very used and they're very important to me. Are all the major arcanas? Yes. So I'm going to tell you what tarot really is. So what is tarot? The tarot deck, a normal traditional tarot deck, is 78 cards, each with its own imagery, symbolism, and story behind it. The 22 major arcana cards represent life's karmic and spiritual lessons. Sorry, my kitty wants some lovin'. And you have 56 minor arcana cards that reflect the trials and tribulations that we experience on a daily basis. So, since you guys are used to my angel tarot here, I'm going to show you what a major arcana is. Your major arcana, depending on your deck, again, will have 22 cards for the major arcana, which would be justice, right? The Empress, the Hermit, if you have a traditional deck, depending on what your deck calls them. You also have the Chariot. So those are your major arcana, and there should be 22 depending on your deck. And those there show you big life changes, big events. So if you have major arcanas that you are using and you see 1, 2, 3, or 4, let's say 4 major arcana show up in your reading, in your spread, that there is letting you know that this is probably most likely going to happen. The major arcana, they are big events. The other ones, so the minor arcana are ones that are going to tell you about your daily stuff. You know, that maybe some of the challenges you may be facing, or maybe some good news, financial matters, whatever it may be, but those ones are not as huge as the major arcana. Now, there's a lot of people that say tarot cards are simply ink on paper. Technically, it is ink on paper. Mine is a Damon deck. It's from the Infernal Dictionary from the tome originally published in 1818 by French occultist Jacques Augustus Simone Collin. Oh, very cool, Enola. I went dark and creepy. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Do you know they have a Universal Monsters set of cards? And I know, Myth, yours is coming from a Kickstarter. I've heard that there was a connection to King Arthur's story, at least the original deck. Yeah, there's lots of stories, and it's really hard to trace back the origins of tarot cards, because before tarot cards existed, most people used a regular playing deck. And it wasn't until in Italy did the first true tarot deck release. Now, according to history, again, you got to take a lot of this and read in between the lines, because this is stories told down by people, right? In Italy, it was supposedly where one of the first tarot decks were created. Tarot has been used throughout history. Egyptians, Samoans, they all have a form of tarot. It's not something that's new. It's not something that came out in like the 1800s. This is something that has been around well long before the 1800s. Like, it's been around for a very long time. Divination work has been around since the dawn of time. And it's just getting more popular and popular as we evolve in the world. Yeah, and it could, Joshua. Oh, really cool. I have an original rider weight. Nice. I have one of those as well. That one really is for show. My deck. Not saying yours. The Lubanco deck is the name, like $75 for US for shipping and the box and the altar cloth. Oh, nice. Myth, that's awesome. That is awesome. I'm going to get into how you store your cards as well, how you cleanse them. So all the basics of your tarot card. So like I was saying, some people say that the tarot is simply ink on paper. However, what I have discovered playing with my cards and reading the tarot cards for daily, like I do this daily. I've been reading since I was 16. I'm 43 now. I find that the tarot card is more like a storybook of what's going on in your life than just some artwork on a piece of paper. And I believe it offers you some inner wisdom and offers you some insight into your deepest desires, or maybe what you are trying to figure out in your life. And it can mirror what you are fully wanting and wanting to learn, giving you the key to wisdom as well. I know a lot of people laugh it off and, they remember, what's her name? Chloe, the psychic. A lot of people make fun of those things and don't really believe in the tarot. Oh God, there's tons of cards all over. My suggestion is always buy something that pulls to you. You ever walk through a store and you see something and you have that feeling and you're like, I have to have it? Hey, that's your pull. It doesn't matter if it's a candy bar. It doesn't matter if it's a book, a tarot deck, a crystal, a rock. It's that feeling of knowing you're supposed to have it, right? It's hard to explain what that feeling is, but if you've had it before, you kind of know it's a pull. It's like, I really should have that. And that's how I usually go off my tarot cards. And I usually go off of feel. Everything has an energy. If you go like this with your hands, you can feel your energy. Almost like impulse buying, but not an impulse. It's like a craving. I don't know how to explain it, but when I'm walking to the store, I'm looking for, let's just say I'm looking for quartz crystal. But when I turn around, this pyrite is staring at me in my face, telling me I need it. So I went and bought the pyrite over quartz crystal because that pyrite, which is called fool's gold, the full chemical name is pyrite, that was pulling to me. I bought it. I had to have it. It was strange. I can't explain that feeling. You get 100% get it. I had that all weekend. Like, you're literally obsessed with it. Right, Miss Gothic? You're meant to have it. If you guys go like this with your hands, I want to show you energy. Go like this with your hands. Do you feel any heat? Do you feel any pushback? When you go like this, you can actually feel your own. It's not heat. It's not body heat. Is you can actually make your energy go out. If you've practiced energy, you can make your energy, and I can feel my energy. I'm already this far apart, and I can feel my energy flowing back and forth in between both of my hands, right? And you can go like this, and you can kind of slowly feel your energy get stronger. Yeah, like the air between your hands. It's warm. It's got a weird like feel to it if you go like this. And you can feel how strong it is. It's really dependent on how much you've also been working with your own energy. This is what I use when I'm feeling for what I want. So if I don't have a pull per se, I have several cards put out in front of me. I use my hand and I feel. When I feel there's a heat coming off of something, that means I have to have it. My Book of Shadows was like that. I was looking for something, and as soon as I saw it, it yelled at me. Right, Mythweaver? So it's hard for me to explain, but you just know you're supposed to have it. It's like this feeling, this knowing. We all feel something different, but very, very similar. So every spiritual lesson we meet in our lives can be found in the 78 tarot cards. which it can be. So if you look through your cards, you can actually see every life lesson. And when we consult the tarot, we'll get shown the exact lessons we need to learn and master to live and inspire your life and whoever you are reading. It's like holding up a mirror to yourself so that you can access your subconscious and a subconscious mind and tap into the wisdom and answers that lives in all of us. So it's a really good tool. It can be a very positive tool. Hello, how are you, Batty? Tarot is perfect if you're trying to make better choices or for self-development, manifesting goals, coaching others, helping others see the positive side, maybe planning a business, meditating with them, very beneficial, which we'll get into that as well. It's as simple as asking a question, putting that energy into the cards. Now you can say it in your mind, or you can say it in your mind and vocally into your cards. I am doing great. How are you doing, Batty? No, it's okay. It's okay. This will be replayable as well in case you've missed anything. This is going to give you inner wisdom and answers that you need. Now, it can be confusing to read yourself sometimes because you have conflicting emotions, and that happens. And so when you're practicing, practice on yourself. But I'm going to give you some tips that I have utilized myself and learning how to read tarot throughout the years. I'm always learning. You don't ever stop learning in this. You're always learning something new. I don't have all the answers. I just have my own life experience, and my mother and my grandmother have taught me in divination work. I'm going to tell you how the tarot, how it actually works, and it's made up of energy. Now, many people believe that the tarot will tell you your future, make predictions, and put things in concrete. And it's not what the tarot cards are actually about. The tarot will tell you of a possible outcome if you follow that path. And that's something everybody gets wrong. A lot of people think, oh, crap, she said that I'm going to go get a promotion at my job. Well, if you decided to show up late for the entire week, maybe that promotion that you were going to get just went down the tubes. So they blame the tarot card reader for being wrong. You see, I'm going to give you a few more examples on how that works as well. You've been trying to figure out, and I'm going to teach you a few ways that worked for me, and I'm hoping it works for you. Right? Concrete futures. I wish, right? We make our own destiny. We make our own future. So it's really dependent upon us as individuals to make sure what we want is what we get. Now, reading a tarot card, if you sit there, I do a daily one for the Horde every time we're live. And sometimes we get cards that tell of a promotion. And so here's an example of reading cards for somebody and telling them some information, and then the information going south. I was doing a reading for a friend of mine. I did a pathways reading, and the pathways reading is two spreads that go in a Y, right? And then a Y. And she wanted to know about a job, and I gave her both pathways. So if you chose to go down this one, this is what might happen, and if you choose this one, this might happen. She was one of those people that was slacking on things, didn't get stuff done. She was up for a promotion, and she didn't know if she should take this new job because it had more money involved with it. She'd start back down below, but she'd have more money. If she stayed with this current job, she would have obviously gotten a promotion and have excelled in her career with this company. Well, she was going through some stuff, and once I read her cards, it was beneficial for her to stay with the company than to go off someplace new. And this is just because of her pathways. So I explained to her and read to her exactly what this side meant and what this side meant. And she decided that she was going to stay with the company. But her actions are what hurt her. She was showing up late, leaving early, not getting things done. So of course that promotion that was there went away because it was her actions, her choice to start slacking over than to continue to work hard at what she wanted. So that there, it just gives you an example of where a card reading can go wrong to another person. I feel like a tarot reading is really beneficial, but you have to follow it up. You do, Batty, you have to follow it up with action. Slacking off, basically, if you change the dynamic, it changes the outcome. Exactly. Our paths are never set in stone. So when you're reading for somebody, if they've never had a tarot card reading before, make sure you let them know that this is not concrete future. This is a pathway. And if you continue on this path, this is the possible outcome. But if you deviate from that path, the outcome is up in the air, right? And it's never set in stone. It never is. And a lot of people will get a tarot card reading done, and then a month will go by. Oh, she sucked. She wasn't right. She was no good. She mustn't have been lying to me just to take my money. And the thing is what did you do? What did you do? You deviated from something, because any good tarot card reader will see what's in your cards. It's all by energy. That's the thing. It's by energy. You write your own path, and destiny is never set exactly. It changes. With everything you do, you change your future, right? No matter what you're doing, you're changing that outcome. Now, the most powerful way to read the tarot is to use the cards to assess your intuition and your inner wisdom. I always talk to you guys, especially on Twitch when we're on our live stream, about our intuition. Intuition is on point all the time. It's when we second guess ourselves, it's when we're wrong. And intuition is something that I rely heavily on in my daily life, even when I read cards for others. If you want, Ra, you can use my reading you did on me for this lesson. Oh, thank you, Regal. Thank you. I also use some from when I used to do this professionally. And I have lots of stories from that. So anyways, you want to be able to use your intuition. If you don't believe in yourself, it's going to be very hard for you to read without going into, where's my little book? It's going to be very, if you can't believe in yourself, or you have a problem believing in yourself, it's going to be very hard for you to read cards, and you're going to be utilizing the book. Now, there's nothing wrong with utilizing this book, but to get a really good in-depth reading, you're going to want to feel. You're going to want to use that intuition. It's easy to second guess ourselves and say that we're wrong because we're new. It is. I'm new to tarot card reading. I've never read anybody before, so I'm kind of scared and I don't believe in what I'm saying. You need to find your place, and you need to believe in yourself and listen to the intuition, not the little voice here. A lot of people think this is intuition. This is not. This is your ego up here telling you that you can and cannot do things. This is the one that keeps you in fear. Your intuition is here. This is your intuition. This is where everybody's intuition is at. Yeah, you ever, for me, I'm a parent, okay? My daughter is at school, and I have a very strong bond with my daughter, both my girls and my grandbabies. And I can tell when something is wrong, when something is quite not right. I feel it here. Sometimes it's a feeling of like dread and nausea. Then it's something that's not good. Other times it's butterflies and like almost feels like anxiety, but it's not anxiety because it's not like it's different. That's all stems here. This is your I will chakra. All right. So if you know anything about chakras, you've got your root chakra, which is 1, your sacral chakra, which is 2, your solar plexus chakra, which is 3. This is your I will. This is your all-knowing center. This here is for vision. This is your third eye, and this is for you using conjunction with your intuition, right? A lot of psychics use their third eye. When I first got my deck, I only used my book once, and I decided, okay, I need to figure this out. Exactly. And I'm going to show you how to do that without utilizing and leaning on this book. There may be a time where you may be getting a little something and you're a little unsure, whip it open. There's nothing wrong with this. Nothing. So don't feel embarrassed if you have to whip that out. Don't. It's a part of the process. I still whip this out. I may be doing a reading for somebody and I'm reading it, but then I'm getting a little bit of muckiness. I'll reference my book. I have no qualms referencing this book at all. And then it sometimes makes things clear. It's just a stepping stone, but don't rely on it. You want to connect with your cards. You want to be able to utilize the energy between you and your cards and your person you're reading for, right? Your querent. If you've ever read this book, it has a querent in it. That is your person who's asking the questions. The imagery in the cards also give you instant access to your subconscious mind and your intuition. Each card has visuals, guys. Visuals. Utilize those visuals. I'm going to give you an exercise to do on your own time, whenever you have the time, to connect with your cards visually. And from this place of inner power and wisdom, you can discover how to make positive changes now, so you can manifest your goals and your dreams for the future. Now, again, this is temporary. This is a pathway. This is not set in stone. When you're choosing your tarot deck, for somebody who doesn't have a tarot deck and you want one, there is a myth that you have to be given the tarot deck. I don't believe in that. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that's not something I believe in, and it's not something that I preach. I feel in order to get a tarot deck that is meant for you, you need to find it. It'll pull to you. There may be something that you like about it, whether it's the artwork, maybe the name on the box, maybe the imagery on the front of the box is what pulled you to it. Regardless of what it is, you can buy your cards online because you can tell if something is pulling to you online. You can go to an occult shop, a bookshop like Chapters or Indigo or Barnes and Nobles in the United States, and you can go and buy these cards there. Is your deck not in the same boat here? I got my tarot deck not too long ago, and I feel I need that book and the new deck. Because you want to know why? I'm going to tell you why, Regal. Because you haven't connected with your cards. I know that's the reason why. Now, connection with your cards, what do you mean? I bought them. I'm playing with them. That's my connection. No, it's not. Your connection to your cards is more than just shuffling a deck, asking it a question, and laying it out. Your connection with your cards is an everyday process. You sleep with them underneath your pillow or by your bed. You meditate with them. You play with them on a regular basis. I'm going to give you the tools here to connect you with your cards. You're going to think that I'm crazy, but this is the way my mother taught me. This is the way when I first started learning how to read tarot cards, the first thing my mother told me, get yourself a little bag, like an herb bag or a bag to keep them together. Put them inside of it, and I want you to put it under your pillow. And I want you to sleep with your cards. And I was like, sleep with my cards? Sleep with your cards. Reading a book like Wicca, and I have Living Wicca, so I have tried to have the information and ask always feel what's right for you. Always feel what's right for you. Rod just answered it, Batty. I feel it was the only one available, but I was interested. And if it was the only one available and you were interested in it, by all means, use it. I don't mind any of us would be here if we thought you were crazy, right? But my mother, she told me to get a little bag, like an herb bag or a jewelry bag, something to keep your cards protected. If you put this son of a bitch underneath your pillow, it's going to be hard. You see how big and thick this box is? If I was to put this underneath my pillow, I'd wake up with a kink in my neck. I'd be like this. I'm like, oh my God, I can't move my head. So you get yourself a little bag. You put your cards in it. You take it and you put it underneath your sheet. You know your fitted sheet? Don't put it directly underneath your pillow because some of us sleep crazy. I'm one of them. And I still sleep with my cards. You take them, you put them in a little baggie, you put it underneath the fitted sheet where your pillow is. And then you put your pillow on top and you go to sleep. Now, this is going to connect you with them on a subconscious level. Not only are you sleeping on them, but you're dreaming. Our dreams are always messages to us from another world, another side. Some of us remember our dreams. Some of us don't remember our dreams. Others get with messages or understandings of things in their dreams. And they get connected to the card. Okay? Now, your deck is going to get connected to you via energy, your energy. And then every day, you're going to pick a card. Okay? You're going to grab yourself a journal. Go to the dollar store, buy yourself a journal, dollar store, $2, and you get yourself a decent journal. So the things that you're going to need is a tarot deck, a pen, and a journal. These are 3 things that you will need to get connected to your cards. You're going to, every day, you can shuffle your cards if you want, pick a card randomly. You're going to take a card. You're going to pick it up. You have to have time. You have to make the time to do this. So if it's first thing in the morning before work, make sure you have that extra 10 minutes to do. You're going to sit there. You're going to look at your card. This card for me is the 3 of Fire. You're going to look at it. Look at the imagery. What colors stand out to you? In your journal, date it. Day 1, September 17th, 2020. Card, 3 of Fire. Colors that stood out to me. That brown gold literally stands out to me more than any other color. I'm going to write brown / gold because that is the kind of color that's standing out to me more than any other color. And then look at it. How do you feel? Write down how you feel. Does the card make you anxious? Does the card make you happy? Does it make you feel anything at all? Maybe it doesn't. And you're going to write down, no, I have no feeling. Then you're going to see whatever else in this imagery that pops to you. You're going to look at it. You're going to think about it. Now, my cards down here give you a little bit of a keyword here. I don't normally read those because those are extra stuff to the card. They're not the actual meaning of the card. What they're called is, on mine, they're called additional meanings. So down at the bottom here, you can kind of see additional meanings. That's what this is additional meanings. So reference here, can sleeping with your tarot like that be as what dream catchers do? Yeah, basically, they capture bad energy, but this here, and that's a good question, Regal, this here is just going to connect with you on that energy level, on that subconscious level where you're not conscious. You're still sleeping, but our energies are different. We connect to something when we sleep. I don't know what it is, but this is not something that's not known about me. I talk to my spirit guides on a regular basis, or my guardian angel, whatever you want to call them. I talk to them every day. And when I'm stuck, I ask them a question. And I go by their guidance, and they usually respond to me within a dream or in my meditation. And I listen to them. I do. I listen to them, and they haven't failed me yet. And I don't think they ever will. Not everybody believes in things like that. But you're going to have your journal, and you're going to start at the beginning of your day or whenever you really have the time, if it's after work or whatever. But this is what I did. I was 16. I was still in high school. I'd wake up in the morning, I grabbed my journal, I pulled a card. I didn't read it, I pulled a card. I wrote it down, I wrote how I felt, I wrote what stood out for me, if there was a specific color, if there was a specific shape, if there was something that really pulled me to the card, I wrote it down in my journal. I then left the rest of my deck at home and took this card with me. I carried it throughout the day. It stayed on me and my person. Now, this wasn't the actual card, but it stayed with me. I carried it throughout the day. Then at the end of my day, I came back home, and when I had the time, I wrote in my journal again. I looked at the card. I did the same thing. What color stuck out to me? What imagery stood out to me. If how do I feel now about this card? What does this card mean to me? And that is what I did. I did it every day without fail. And this not only gives you a connection to each individual card, but it gives you that feeling to each card. Plus, you kind of get a little bit more of experience when you're connecting to the card and your energy. So you can look at the card and you can do it right now. You can look at your card and see what pulls to you. If there's a specific color that really says boom, right? Or a shape that you see. Colors have meanings. Shapes have meanings. And you can really dive into the tarot card on not just what the message it's giving you, but what the color meanings mean. Now, on a traditional tarot deck, depending on who's creating your tarot deck, you're going to have different elements or shapes. You'll either have wands or rods or what the hell are they called with the Harry Potter deck? Wands, like magic wands. You'll have fire. You'll have water. You'll have discs. You'll have plates. You'll have coins. It's all dependent on your deck, but each one has the same meaning as the other. For example, pentacles in my deck. So my deck is 3 of Earth. Dumb question. I assume you added the card back to the deck and shuffled them every morning. And what would happen if you kept pulling the same card? Then you need to read that card, right? So, okay, for instance, you're waking up in the morning. You wake up in the morning, you pull your card. This is your card. And you remember it's the 3, it's the 3 of fire, okay? Now, you wrote down in your journal what you're doing. This is not shuffling. This is not asking it a question. This is connecting you to a card. Now, let's just say you want to do a reading on yourself. Fine. You take the card, you put it back in the deck. You make sure the energy is clear. 1, 2, 3. You can also cleanse your cards in numerous ways. The quickest one, and that I have always used, is to knock on them 3 times. You're knocking the energy out of them. You shuffle your deck. You cut your deck. If you feel the need to cut, this is all on you and how you are feeling. You don't have to cut your deck. You can cut your deck in 3 ways towards your heart. You can cut your deck 3 ways away from your heart. Like, it's all on you and your feeling and your perception with your cards. Nobody else. I'm not going to tell you there's a wrong way and a right way, because there is no way. It's your way. If I'm doing a reading for somebody, how I do mine is I lay out 1, 2, 3, and whatever is pulling my fancy, I will grab them and put them together depending on what is tickling my fancy that day. And then I will lay out the cards. So not only can you pull your card and see your card, but you can give yourself a reading afterwards. You're going to do this with your entire deck. I know it sounds like a lot of work, but if you want to read really well, you're going to put in the work to do it. You guys, when I read for you in the morning on stream, I get people who DM me, how did you do that? How did you know that? How did you find that out? I read the energy of that card. I have been reading. It comes with experience. Don't get me wrong. It does come with experience, but I'm a good card reader because I took the time to understand my cards. I took the time to learn what they mean to me. This wasn't a game. This wasn't something that I was going to do for 15 minutes and then fuck it, right? This is something I really wanted to connect to. So if you really want to learn them, you really want to get it connected to them, you're going to put in the work to understand them. I have so many journals, so this is right down my alley. Nice. I have dream journal. I have journals too, Miss Gothic. I told you how haunting all your readings are. You're amazing with the craft. Well, thank you, Miss Gothic. But you can be amazing with it as well. Again, it's just time, practice, and experience. I went through all 78 cards, pulled one card, wrote the meaning down, wrote the card down. So when you do get your journal, if you don't have one yet, Get your journal, write it down on a piece of paper, write down the date, write down the card. Write down what comes to you, whether it's a color, whether it's something. Something will come to you, and just write it down. If nothing does, don't get frustrated. Don't think, well, shit, my cards aren't working today. No. Maybe there's something else going on in your life. Maybe there's something else going on in your life that are blocking your energy at the moment. So don't be hard on yourself. Remember, you're learning. This is baby steps, right? So you take your card, you look at it, you connect with it, see what it means to you in the morning. Then when you're coming home, maybe you're done for the day, you've cooked dinner, you take your shower, you've got maybe 10, 15 minutes before bedtime. Whip out that card again that you've had on you all day. Now, having it on you all day, that you don't have to if you have the ability to do so. Some people do not, especially if their career, if they're a waitress or a waiter, you don't want to bend your card. You don't want to scruff it up, right? If I've ever have any questions on this, there is no one else I'm coming to get answers, as I feel no one in my family will understand. A lot of people don't understand. Just like a lot of people don't understand my choice career as a content creator. If you wake up and pull a card you already wrote down, or what do you do? I feel like we asked this, but I might have missed it. So, okay, so let's just say yesterday, what is yesterday? Let's say hump day, Wednesday, you pulled this card. This was the card that you pulled to get used to. If you pull it again on Thursday, it's telling you something. So kind of feel what it's telling you and then pick another card, right? This is you connecting with each individual card. Now there are going to be other people who will do these things online or whatever, will tell you something different. Again, I'm just giving you my experiences and how I learned how to read. My way of reading is probably different than everybody else's. But let's say Wednesday you pulled the 9 of air to understand it and put it in your journal. And let's just say you wake up this morning and you open up your deck and you pull from the middle and boom, oh my God, it's the 9 of air again. The 9 of air is probably trying to tell you something. It's up to you to decipher what it's telling you. Once you figure that out, you then pull another card and then you do your journal. And that is connecting with your card. Play with your cards as often as you can. Play with them. Shuffle them. You don't have to read them. The more time you spend with them, the more of a connection you get. It's just like with anything. You're playing a video game, for instance. You suck at first person. You're playing Overwatch and you're getting your ass handed to you. What do? You don't rage quit and throw your controller across the room. Maybe some of you do. But you keep practicing. You keep playing that game. You keep utilizing your character, learning your character's ins and outs, and you get better. Same with your tarot cards. You're going to sit, you're going to practice with them, you're going to shuffle them, you're going to meditate with them. Now, I know not everybody meditates. I meditate on a daily basis. And when I'm having a rough time, I meditate quite a bit. And when I meditate, my mind isn't quiet all the time. My mind is always going. It's always going. It never shuts the fuck up. But I meditate and I use a tarot card to meditate with. So if you're a person who meditates, you can meditate with your cards as well to get a better connection with them. Right, Reegs? I'm a fiddler, so I'll be handsy with it. Exactly. You're not going to hurt your cards or your connection if you're constantly playing with them. If you're somebody who plays with them one day, puts them down, and then 5 weeks later comes back to them and you're wondering why they're not working for you, there's no connection. You have to have a connection with them. You have to. Any good tarot card reader has a connection with their card. You can ask other tarot card people, what do they do with their cards? You know, are they always playing with them? Are they always on their mind? Are they utilizing them every day? Playing with them is going to be beneficial. Shuffling them, there's no wrong or right way to shuffle your cards either, guys. Don't let anyone tell you that you have to shuffle them this way. You don't. You shuffle them however you want. They're your cards. It's your thing. Don't let anyone tell you that that's not the right way. Oh no, she doesn't know what she's talking about. That's not the right way. Your way is the right way. It's your perception, your intuition, not mine. I'm just giving you examples on how you can shuffle them, how like you can shuffle this way. It really depends on your cards and how big are they? Are they little cards? Are they big cards? Can you shuffle that way? Cards come in different sizes, different colors, different textures. So it's really dependent on how you want to shuffle them. I shuffle weird because they're too big for my small hands. And yeah, there you go. I know people who have Rider-Waite decks. Now, if you ever seen a Rider-Waite deck, they're very tall cards, traditional ones. They're very tall. And so if you have small hands, shuffling them this way can be very weird and awkward. So they shuffle them this way, right? Now, for me, you would hold it like this and you'd shuffle. I'm not good at this shuffling this way. Not at all. This is not a way that I shuffle. But you can, if your cards are too big and your hands are too small, you shuffle. You have to shuffle them the way you need to. Exactly. I love the aspect of the craft. Lots of here's one way, but if it doesn't feel right, do something else. That's the whole thing. There is no wrong or right way to read these bad boys right here. It's all on you. You can buy all the books in the world about tarot card reading. They're all going to be different. They're all going to be different. And you can buy as many books as you want to learn how to read tarot. But those books aren't going to make you any better. And remembering word for word what this is a waste of time. It's not what this book says. It's what you feel. So once you've got that down and you've connected with your cards and you're playing with your cards, even if you just want to hold your cards before bed, just hold them. Go for it. You're connecting with it. And what helped me, again, like I said, is I slept with my cards underneath my pillow. I still do. I sleep with my other deck because that's the deck I use for myself. When I was reading for other people, I would sleep with that deck underneath my pillow to keep that connection. Once you have that connection, you don't have to sleep with them underneath your pillow. This is just for you to get that connection. You'll know when you're connected to your cards because the readings will flow easier for you. Right now, I can guarantee if you laid out 3 cards right now, you probably don't know what they're saying to you. And you're going to whip up your book and you're going to read it. Now, when you get connected with your cards, you're not going to have to do that. You're going to be like 5 of air, the Hermit, and the 10 of water. And you're going to allow the cards to tell you a story. You're going to feel that. You're going to look at them. What do these cards make you feel? When you look at the first card, how are you feeling? Do you feel any anxiety? Do you feel happiness? Do you feel sadness? Do you feel a little choked? Do you feel... It's all about feel, intuition. Believe that you can do it. The Hermit. What are you feeling from that card? And then the 10 of water. Knowing the elements and the representation and what they mean is also beneficial for you. You got to go. I'll see you later. No worries. Dylan, have a great day. Thank you for stopping by. This is why we're doing it on YouTube, so it's replayable for you guys. So we've gone over connecting with your cards. Once you've gone through the whole 78 cards or whatever your deck has, not every deck is going to have 78 cards, okay? It's dependent on your deck. Once you've gone through that, you're going to do that with all the decks that you have until you get that experience. I still sleep with my decks. So let's just say this is a brand new deck for me. I'm going to play with this deck more than any other deck in my collection. I'm going to sleep with this one. I'm going to make sure I'm fully connected with this deck. And then I'm going to start doing my things with it, right? I'm glad it's helping. I'm glad it's helping because we can read all the books in the world on tarot card reading. There's a tarot card reading for dummies. There's tarot card reading 101. There's tarot card this. There's tarot card that. They all have very similar ways of teaching you how to do it. But no matter how many books you read, it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to get connected with your cards if you're not connected with them. You're not going to understand them if you're not connected to them. Some people are psychic. Some people are mediums. It's a whole other story. I'm neither. I'm a very good with my intuition, and I'm very good with reading people's energy. So for me, reading is a little easier for me because I read people's body language. I read their reactions. I read their mannerisms and I feel how they're feeling, right? If you ever heard the word empath, I'm an empath. Empaths, there are more of us in the world than there are none. There are tons of empaths, and I can guarantee you're probably one as well. But use your energy to read those cards. So we've gone over how to connect with your cards. Sleep with them if you have the ability. If you don't have the ability to sleep with them, play with them quite often. Play with them every chance you can. Is it more difficult to do a reading over a voice call when you can't see? Nope. And the reason why is I connect with them and their energy. You guys always tell me about this stare that I do. I don't know that I'm doing the stare until you say something to me. It's a very weird thing. Energy flows through our body regardless what's in front of us. Regardless if there's a webcam and a monitor and a keyboard and you're all the way in Timbuktu. I'm making a connection with you. Regardless, right? And I'm doing that stare right now. I can feel it. That is your connection. I have read numerous cards on the phone, on Discord, and in email. And it has everything to do with energy. Yeah, see? See how that it's connection. So here's a quick tip. So if you're reading, let's say you're reading a friend, right? You're practicing, you're reading a friend. Let's say I'm reading Miss Gothic. Now, when I'm doing a true full-on reading, so Miss Gothic comes to me and she's like, hey, Ra, I really need some help. Can you please do a spread for me? Let's do it. What do you want to know? Like, I need to know just anything. And I'm like, okay, no problem. I'm going to do a Celtic cross spread for you. Miss Gothic, can I get your first name? I don't need her last name. Your first name holds a crap ton of power to it. Crap ton of power to it. Your last name is your given name. That's something you're born into. But your first name is something that is specifically for you. So it holds a lot of power, right? My chosen first name. If you've chose your name yourself, Enola, then use that one. Because that's the one that you're putting the power into. My real name is not in English. It isn't. And I don't go by my Italian-made name. I go by my English version of my name. And so when I get a card reading from somebody, they ask me all these questions, I only give them my name, my first name. And I'm like, this is my first name. That has more power to it than my other name because it never gets used. I don't utilize it. It's on my birth certificate and my mother is the only one who actually calls it, right? You would use whatever name you have the most energy to, the most connection to. For my daily card readings, I ask it about the horde, right? What does the horde need to know? Right? And I'm connecting the name of the horde because it has a lot of energy to it. I chose that name for my community. So there's energy to it. Miss Gothic. I can do a reading right now just using the word Miss Gothic. But if Miss Gothic really wanted an in-depth reading, I'd ask her for her first name. I'll pull more. I'm going to get on to shuffling as well, and when cards jump out of the deck. Maybe even an enemy. Can you still want to do readings for people to maybe help them without them knowing? You could. You can do readings on people. Again, it's all about the energy. So maybe you have somebody that you know has a mental health issue and they're going down a spiral of obsession and they're obsessed with somebody, but you know you can try to help them. You can try shuffling the deck and asking the cards, what can I show this person so they can understand this is the wrong thing to do, right? But then again, it's if you have that wanting to, right? Sometimes your readings are not right. Sometimes your readings are a little weird, and that's okay. That's fine. Don't beat yourself up over that. Even our usernames is something that can, oh, whoa, yeah, Regal. This is why I do so good on those one card readings. You see the one card readings that I do from Streamloots, our Oracle card, I'm only using their gamer tag, their username, because it's a username that they chose, right? It's theirs. There's an energy to it. When they play video games, they go into a chat room, they go on Twitter, they're being called by Reanimate Her, Regal, Enola, the Mythweaver, Batty Page. You guys chose those names for you. They have a power. They have that power for you. So I can do those readings and I focus. Not only do I verbally, but I also mentally say that. So when I'm doing a reading, it's my daily reading. Let's just say Miss Gothic throws down a Streamloots card and it's an Oracle card. I'll ask her what she wants to know. Some people say, I don't know. What's surrounding me? You hear me say, what is surrounding Miss Gothic? What is surrounding Miss Gothic? And I'm focusing that thought into my cards and I'm verbally putting the energy into my cards as I am shuffling. And I'm saying, what does Miss Gothic need to know? What does Miss Gothic need to know? And I shuffle until I'm done. And that can be whatever. It could be your first shuffle. You could be shuffling for 2 minutes. It's whenever you feel the right and you're done. What does Miss Gothic need to know? What does Miss Gothic need to know? Sometimes you got to sit there a little bit longer than normal, and that's fine. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Miss Gothic, you got to stop expecting the worst. Stop waiting for that other shoe to drop. I know you know that I'm talking about that. You got to stop waiting. Stop it. Stop it. You sitting there waiting for that other shoe to drop. I did. I just focused it in there and I just pulled it. Boom. 9 of air. Self-fulfilling prophecies, my dear. Self-fulfilling prophecies. But do you see how much our name holds? Like how much power I just got off of that? And I say power, but energy. I shuffled it. I thought about it. Verbally said it. All of that holds power. All of it holds power. Just shuffle it and think about it. Look at the deck if you have to. You know, just shuffle and look and put that energy in there and then pull the card. Okay? You too can do exactly what I'm doing. Guarantee it with connecting with your cards, getting that playtime in. I'm not saying you have to play with them every day, but the more you play with them, the more you touch them, the more you work with them, the quicker and stronger it'll be. Now, I know there's many of us that are super busy, and we are. Moms, we're dads, we're streaming, we're full-time working, we're doing... When you're a content creator, you're your own IT, you're your own marketing and branding and advertising company. So I understand the juggles of daily life, between having a regular job, having kids, having friends, having a social life. Shit gets crazy. But make that time, even if it's before bed, even if you just got out of the shower and you know, oh, should I watch Lucifer or play with my tarot cards? Why not do both? Why not sit there with your tarot cards, shuffle, and watch that sexy devil do his thing, right? Like, what's wrong with that? Why not? There ain't nothing wrong with that. You're playing with them. You're getting connected. I mean, I know my username screams negativity vibes due to stereotypes, but dang, still accurate. Miss Gothic, I don't ever see anything negative with your username. To me, Gothic to me automatically makes me think of Victorian. It's Victorian type of Gothic. When I hear Gothic, that's what I think of. I don't think of people wearing black eyeliner and, you know, whatever. When I hear Gothic, I think Victorian. I think elegant with a little bit of spookiness. But that's what my mind goes to, right? And with Regal, same thing. Her name, I can just pull whatever I want from her given name. So again, play with your cards at any given time. You're sitting there, like I said, you're watching Lucifer. You're trying to decide, do I watch Lucifer or play with my cards? Why not do both? Why not do both? Right? Play with them. Connect with them. They're yours. Play. And you can do that with all of your decks. Like, here is another one of my deck. It's the Indigo Angel deck. I love this deck. I love it. I love using this deck on young people. Like, have you ever heard of Indigo Children? That's what this deck is for. Bind with your cards over. Exactly. Elegance is what I see when in the Gothic world. Exactly. Right? Shuffle your cards. Play with them whenever you get a chance. It's the connection that's most important. Once you connect with your cards, reading will come easier. It will. It will come easier once you connect. Now, I'm not saying don't read people. Read them. Don't use your book. Don't use your book right away. So you're going to sit there. You're going to read your friend. You're going to shuffle the cards. Right? You're going to shuffle. You're going to cut your deck however you want to cut your deck. You're going to drop that card down. Oh, okay. Love yourself. Hey, Riggs, have you been having any issues believing in yourself? Because my card is telling me to tell you that you just need to love yourself a little bit more. Give yourself some me time. Allow yourself some relaxation and downtime. That was just a quick pull. But allow yourself to love. Give yourself some love. Take a bath. Paint your toenails. Do your hair. I don't know, something. Pamper yourself. You deserve it. Allow you to love yourself. I know. Hey, I'm just pulling cards here, woman. I'm just pulling cards here. But that's how easy it is once you connect your cards, right? Once you connect to them, you're able to pull those things. Pamper yourself, right? I won't pull another one, but I'm just saying, like, you use them and utilize them, connect with them, and your readings are going to be so much easier. So what you're going to do is you're going to get yourself a journal and you're going to read your card to you. You're going to pull one card. You're going to write it in your journal. September 17th, 2020. I pulled the card, love yourself. What does this card mean to me? What stands out to me? Does anything stand out to me? Do I feel something on this card? What sticks out to me the most? And I write it down, right? And then close it. If you can carry it with you, carry it with you. If you can't, leave it someplace safe. Pick it up when you can and see if there's anything different. Come back to your book. What does this card mean to me? Write it down. Okay? You're going to do that every day. A different card. You're going to pull it. September 18th, 2020. Card, dreams. Just look at it. And write down what you see. Write down how you feel. If nothing stood out, write that down. You don't feel anything? Write it down. It doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong if you don't feel something. I love the impromptu pulls for us. It highlights the truth of your words. And, but sometimes I'm wrong. It happens, right? Like sometimes I'm wrong and I'm not going to beat myself up over it. Maybe that card is pulling my energy, right? We also have to remember that we have energy that might supersede the person you're reading. Again, everything is made up of energy when it comes to connecting with your cards. if I'm going through a rough time, whatever it may be, example, the passing of my grandmother, I tried to read my cards. I tried to do daily readings for the Horde while I was gone for a week. I couldn't because my cards were a mess. They're all over the place. And why? My feelings were all over the place. I had anger. I had sadness. I had happiness. I had anxiety. I had a jumble of emotions that were surrounding my aura, surrounding my soul, so that when I tried to read, it was a friggin' mess. So, keep that in mind when you're reading for other people. If there's something that is surrounding you that's very strong, you may be doing your own reading without you realizing. When I do so this is my thing. Before stream, I get up, I do my makeup, I do my hair, I get my outfit ready, I eat. Before my stream, I center myself, I throw out my intention to the universe. I ask the universe, please make this stream happy, full of laughter and love and positivity. Keep the dingleberries at bay, and may I read with emotion and love. I do a couple of deep breaths. I press the live button. I say my good mornings, shuffle my cards. I cut it, I pull it, and wham. That is a reading. There we go. If you're going to be reading for other people, make sure you can collect yourself. Make sure you can ground yourself. So take those few minutes. Shuffle. Put your energy into it. And then pull those cards. When we're sporadic, that's going to show. Right? Is there ever a proper time to read? Maybe you just, anytime. Read anytime, but before you read, make sure you're centered. Make sure you're calm. Don't read when you have a kid screaming in your ear. You know what I mean? Read when you have that time. Always take a couple nice deep breaths in and just let your shoulders drop. Just calm yourself. Bring that energy into the center. Shuffle your cards, lay them out. When we're angry, when we have anxiety, when we have something going on, inhaling deep, I mean deep, making your belly expand when you're inhaling, releases a chemical in our brain. It releases endorphins that make us feel good. This is why when I tell you guys about anxiety and my own anxiety and my own dealings that I go with, I do 10 deep breaths. And as I'm doing these deep breaths, I'm counting because my mind is paying attention to the numbers that I'm counting and my body is relaxing because I'm doing those deep breaths, which is releasing the chemicals in my brain. And it's proven, this is science, it releases chemicals in your brain that release through your whole body. So if let's say you're super upset about something and you want to read your cards, don't read them right away. Breathe, center, ground, shuffle, read. You always want to make sure that you are in a headspace that is not going to be controlled by emotion. When you're shuffling, that gives you the basics of that and how you can go about doing that. While you're pulling your card every day and you're connecting to them, you're writing them down, do daily readings afterwards. Shuffle your card, ask it a question. Hell, don't even ask it a question. Shuffle your cards. Don't ask it anything. Just shuffle them. If you want, cut your deck. You don't have to. I'm not going to tell you that you have to. Do what you feel is good. Whip that card out. You want to know what card I just got? Share your wisdom. I didn't ask it a question. I just shuffled the cards. Would you try to ground before shuffling? So I might naturally grab and start shuffling, ground myself. Whatever you feel, Mythweaver, whatever you feel. There's no wrong or right way. And you can go onto Google and type and learn how to read tarot cards. They'll have their way, yada, yada, yada. I believe there is no wrong or right way. You do how you feel. If you think shuffling maybe might make you a little calmer, shuffle and ground. Shuffle and ground. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing. And don't let anyone ever tell you that there is, or you learned the wrong way. Because tarot readings are specifically for that person. Connecting with your cards is specifically for you. For example, let's say Batty starts reading tarot cards, but she's pulling other things and she's doing other things. Her way of doing it is not wrong. It's her way. These tools that I'm telling you, you take them and utilize them for yourself. Morph them into your own ritual. Morph them into your own experience. You know, if you don't want to sleep with these cards underneath your pillow, don't. But make sure you're playing with them. Take that advice. Make sure you're touching them. You don't feel like writing a journal? That's fine. Don't do it. But make sure you're connecting and you're understanding what each of these cards mean to you. I'm just giving you my experience and how I was taught. Take it however you want it. It's not going to be wrong and it's not going to be right. It's your way. That's it. Rhythmic sounds and movements always calm me down. There you go. Do you think learning to meditate before jumping into reading would make it easier? I hate the word easier, but like for grounding aspects. Yeah, it could. It definitely could. Grounding yourself brings you back to center. Relaxing yourself brings you back to center. If you find that if you can read easier when you ground yourself in center, by all means do it. Miss Gothic, there is no wrong or right way to do this. It's your energy into those cards. It's your connection. If you feel that sitting in the bathtub with candles going is the best way for you to connect with your cards, so be it. If you feel sitting in bed just shuffling them and pulling a card and trying to read it is the best way that you should learn, then do it. We make our connections very differently. Very differently. And again, what I do may not work for you. And who knows? You may be a better card reader than me. We all have our own ways of reading and doing things. I got a kick-ass tarot set for my sister, but I don't want to use them anymore because she sucks. Well, if you don't want to use them anymore, you can put them to the side as a collection, or you can try to whip away that energy that they suck or she sucks and try to utilize them if you really like those cards. I know every time you pick it up, you probably think of your sister. Meditation has helped me center myself with a high anxiety. Right, Riggs? It works. So I'm feeling with my tarot learning and reading has helped me shape my day and my mindset. Yes. We set our energy. We set our day. You ever wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, the day is gonna be shitty. And you go to work and your day is complete shit. You put your intention out there. You put that energy out there. That's what happens. But if you wake up, you're a little tired. You're like, I can still stay in bed. But today is going to be a kick-ass day. I'm going to kick today's ass. It's going to be awesome. Most likely, you're going to have a good day. You may have some hiccups there, here and there, because you can't control other people's actions. You can't control other people. So if you're working in retail and some twat comes in and she's very bitchy because her size 8 pants don't fit her because she's really a size 20, and she's mad at you because she had to come all the way back to the store because she failed to try them on, you let that roll off your back, right? Don't allow others to make your day shitty. Hello, Dillinger. Hi, I'm new here. I watched a movie once where witches have to literally kiss the devil's ass. Is that true? No. Most of us don't believe in the devil. But I do know that movie that you're talking about. It was considered a documentary. But your connection to your cards are the most important. The most important. I'm going to be scheduling another shot call for next week. And we're going to talk about layouts and spreads. Not spreads like peanut butter and jelly and cheese. Shut up. dog, but spreads, tarot spreads. Rod, did you see my question on the star signs and such? Oh, no. I must have missed that, Riggs. I'm sorry. How long ago was? Oh, star signs. Would tarot counterbalance other spiritual readings? For like example, numerology. Star signs. They can help give you more insight. I am going to show you my pendulum that I use when I read. It's a great question. This is one of my pendulums. This is amethyst. It's a little hard to see. But I made this. This is a pendulum. It's another form of divination work. If you are, you have some other questions. So let's just say you do a spread for yourself, a 3-card spread. You threw down 3 cards. And you're like, what's this last one? Okay, whip out something else. Whip out a pendulum. And ask your pendulum. See what it says. If you've never played with a pendulum before, they're fun. Numerology. So let's just say your tarot cards have numbers, all right? Which some of them do, not all of them. These ones don't. This deck doesn't have a major arcana either, right? It doesn't. But this deck. So let's just say I'm actually going to create a reading here. So I'm shuffling my cards. I've asked it a question. I'm doing a 3-card reading. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Okay, I laid down 3 cards. 2 of my cards have numbers because they're major arcanas, 21 and 8. Now, numerology takes place. So, if you're like me, you have a numerology book because you're studying numerology. So, you're going to, where the hell is my numerology book? I was just reading it. Is it? Seriously, I was just reading that book. I was just reading that book this morning. Oh, there it is. Whoa! My numerology book. Now, it's got secrets. I have been learning numerology. It's something that I have been doing in my downtime. And numerology is really cool. So very cool. This doesn't have a cover. But I can tell you who wrote it. This here, you can open up your numerology book and you can say, okay, so I've got the number 21 and the number 8. 2 plus 1 is how much? 3. So what does the number 3? Let's see what the number 3 may mean. Let's see. Okay. 3. In this relationship, you have the leadership and originality. The other person has a charm and magnetism to get adherence to your cause so that success seems almost inevitable. As a team, you get along well, with perfect understanding of each other's aims as the basis of almost perfect compatibility. Okay? What does the number 8 have to do with something? Okay? Number 8. You take a look at number 8. Let go of dreams, ideals, and aspirations if you would get along well with the other person. Now, so your books are going to have different things to them, but numerology has the same definitions. 8 stands for something, 1 stands for something, 2 stands for something. You can get numerology out of your name, out of your date of birth, out of anything that you do. So yeah, you could use all different types of tools. I know people, okay, so back home in Nanaimo, there is this place called the Tea House, the Calico Tea House. And what happens at this Calico Tea House is tarot card readings and all sorts of divination work. And when I was getting a reading there, not only did she pull my tarot cards but she also did a tea leaf reading to complement that reading. So while she was reading my cards, I was drinking this tea. Once I was done with this tea, she did her thing. She read my cards already, so I already got the meaning of my Celtic cross that she did. And now she read the leaves in the tea, which complemented the reading that she did with the tarot card. So yeah, you can use other tools. You can, if you have a ritual going on. So let's just, Mabon is coming. September 21st. If you're pagan, then you know what Mabon is. Mabon is a big Sabbath here. It's not here, but it's a big event, a big holiday in my religion. So I can do a Mabon reading. You can also correspond your readings with the moon cycle. Full moon, full of friggin' energy. It's the strongest moon out there. New moon, maybe you're looking for a new job and maybe you want to get a really good answer. So you're going to do a reading on the new moon, right? It's really, it's what you want to use. Again, there's no wrong or right way. There's your way. When you are shuffling your cards, let's say you're doing a reading for yourself and you're shuffling your cards, and I can't make it happen, but this will happen. Mark my words, it will happen. You're sitting there shuffling, you're paying attention, you're putting your energy and your intent into your cards. Next thing you know, this card comes flopping out of the deck. Maybe it fell on the floor. Maybe when you shuffled, it slipped out and it fell down onto the side of you. Maybe it literally jumped the hell out of your deck. That is a card that you are meant to read. Sometimes on my stream, when I'm doing our daily reading, I'll be shuffling and a card jumps out, right? I put that card down to the side because it's a card that's meant to be read. I continue my shuffling as usual. If any more cards fall out, put them to the side. Now, I'm not saying if you're shuffling and you're not paying attention and you miss the shuffle, that's different. But if you're paying attention and you're shuffling and you're not getting wild with it and a card pops out, that's a card that's jumping out of the deck. That card you put to the side. When I missed a card, and yeah, so sometimes if you're not paying attention, you can shuffle and a card will slide out, right? And it'll fall to the side. That's technically not a jump out card. But if you're looking at it and you're focusing and the card just jumps out, put it to the side, finish your shuffle, cut your deck if you want, and then pull your cards. That did happen today when I missed a card and it fell out. Both cards spoke to, they can both be telling you something. That happened on stream. I think it was my fault because it got pulled super hard. It could be. Put that card to the side and pull a card. And so here is your reading. You're going to read this card because it's the one that you pulled. And this card is giving you some backup. So, the Knight of Earth. How to buckle my ass down and get shit done. Stop procrastinating on certain things. Get it done, but don't overwork myself to get burnt out, because the Four of Air is telling me if I continue down that path and I continue working as hard as I am currently working, I'm going to burn out. This card is telling me that I need to find that rest. I need to find that time. More me time, taking my time and making decisions. So this complements this card, right? So don't forget about your jumping cards. And a lot of people, if they're not paying attention, sometimes a card or two will fall out of the deck, and that's just because you're not paying attention. But if you are sitting there and you're paying attention and you're putting your thoughts and your energy into your card and you're shuffling away and then you pull out a card and you put it down and one falls out, boom, read it. It's a complementing card. Of course, I Googled the meanings on both cards. Google your cards should have came with a book. Don't allow this to run your readings. Use it as a guide. Always try to see if you can read your own card first, right? So pull that card. See if you can read it. Believe you can read it. Once you get connected with your cards, you'll be able to do more with it. You'll have more experience once you connect yourself with it. You'll have more feeling when you connect yourself with it. So you look at it, read it, write it down. Write down every reading. Then go into your book. Pull it up. Read it. Did what you just read by yourself basically say something similar? If so, great. If not, don't worry about it. This is just a guide. You can do reversals. You can. I know tarot card readers that go through their deck blindly and reverse cards. They just reverse them. I don't read reversals. Again, there's no wrong way or right way to read cards. My friend Malice reads cards, but he feels if that card needs to be upside down, right? So he'll shuffle his cards and he'll pull a card. If it doesn't seem right, he'll turn it upside down and see what that means. And if that utilizes something to him, he'll put it down as you're reading, right? Reversal, so upright and reversal. Upright has a positive, reversal's usually a negative, right? Traditional tarot decks will have a reversal meaning and an upright meaning. So if you take a look at your traditional tarot deck, look in your book, it'll have an upright meaning and a reversal meaning. And what you're going to do is when you're learning your cards, reverse it. How does that make you feel? Right? You want to get connected with your cards. You want to see what they mean to you. Not every tarot card reader reads a reversal. Okay? Some do. Some go through their deck reversing different cards. They don't look at them. They just reverse different cards and they shuffle and then they lay out their spread. I do not. I believe my cards will tell me what I need to know for that person, whether it's a positive or a negative. So I believe that if I'm doing a reading for you and you're wondering if you should date this guy or date the other guy, and I do a relationship spread for you, and it tells me that this other one, if you choose A is most likely going to play games and break your heart. Not technically super negative, but if you were to go down that path, yada, yada. This one here, B, is going to be reliable. He's going to be funny. He's going to treat you well, right? So I believe my cards tell me what I need to know for that person, whether it's reversed or not. I know there will be people that will watch this video and disagree with the most that I say. Proof is in my pudding. I know I'm a good tarot card reader. I know I'm a good oracle card reader. Just because my way they don't agree with doesn't make them wrong. It's just whatever works for them. But yes, you have a reversal meaning in a traditional tarot deck. A lot of my cards here, oracle cards, don't have a major arcana. My Ascended Masters card is an oracle card. They have Ascended Masters. For example, Kasumi is an actual deity. He's an ascended master. Apollo, another deity. We have Kali in here. We have Pan. We have White Tara, Paul the Venetian, Saint Francis, Lakshmi, Jesus, Isis, Parvati, Moses, Saint Germain, Vishnu, Hina, Osiris. So it's dependent on your deck. Oracle cards, tarot cards. If you have traditional tarot deck, you're going to have wands, cups, pentacles, swords. Or a non-traditional tarot deck, earth, air, fire, water, right? Each has a meaning. That's what that's what you have. Thank you, Riggs. This is Ascended Masters. Each deck that I get, that I have collected over the years, I've connected with. Each one. I still connect with them. Some days you'll see me do readings from this. I love my Archangel Michael tarot angel cards. and I love them. It's all about Archangel Michael. And I just love these cards. So it's all on you and how you want to read them. If you have upside down, you have this, you have that. Each of your card meanings, pentacles, has a meaning to it. That's earth. Pentacles, discs, coins, the element is earth. You have fire, swords, action, different things. I don't know other names for swords. You have emotions, cups, water. Water equals cups, cups equal water, and they both equal emotion, right? Wands, staffs, rods, swords, discs, cups, water, earth, pentacles. They all have a meaning to it. Yeah, I have a traditional deck as well. Hold on, I'm gonna let you see my deck. This is my deck. This is my bag. Right? Big deck energy. The purpose of having a dark color bag, blanket, altar cloth wrapped around it is to keep energies out of your cards. That's very important. I want to get to that before we end here today. So when you're storing your cards, get a cloth, wrap them up in a cloth. Keep them protected from other people's energies. These cards, anyone can touch. These cards, sorry, I've got herbs in here and spells and things. And I got spells and things in my cards. These cards, no one can touch. This is a traditional tarot deck. This is my very first tarot deck. Your rods are your wands. Your swords is your fire. So you have, and they each have a Roman numeral, like my major arcana. You see the Roman numeral? That tells you what number they are in the major arcana. And it's got 4 different languages. So let's see, my emperor. Right? So you have your traditional deck. You've got your pentacles, your cups, your rods, your swords. You have elements that go with each of them as well. Mine's traditional. I have a death card, a devil card, a tower card, where my angel cards don't have a death card. They have renewal. It doesn't have a devil card. It has life changes. It doesn't have a tower card. Yes, you can. You definitely can. Your traditional tarot decks will have all the traditional ones. 2 of Cups, Page of Swords, 4 of Swords, the Tower. Tell me how this card makes you feel. Does this card bring anxiety to you? It does for me. Anytime I see this card, it's like, oh my God. So, but that it is for me. Now, you're going to have, so for example, swords. All right. Swords are going to be spades. Your clubs are going to be rods, wands, staffs. Your cups are going to be hearts. So if you were going to look at a traditional playing card deck, which is how tarot cards got started, clubs, spades, hearts, diamonds. They all correspond to a tarot card. Pentacles, diamonds, right? So you can kind of see where your playing cards could be used as tarot cards. They really can. Your playing cards can be designated to read as tarot cards. It's all on how you perceive it, your energy, and your reading style. I do have friends that use playing cards over tarot cards. It does happen. Now, you want to see how old my book is? This book is well used. I don't know if you can see it, but it's well used. I've had this deck since I was 16 years old. This deck came out. When did it come out? Let's see. It doesn't have it. Interesting. This book has a reverse. I'm going to see if I can have you guys see it. It's got the Page of Rods. What the Page of Rods means. It's divinatory reading, like it's divinatory meaning, and then it's reversal, right? God damn, I mess with my webcam a lot. But it'll all have that. Also in this book, it has spreads. 10-card spread, which is your Celtic cross. 3-card spread, pathway spread. We're going to go over that in about a week, I think. We're going to go over some spreads. I asked for the star sign because my cards have the Virgo and other astrological signs in it. So that's why I asked. They're all connected, Regs. So what you can do is, if you're understanding astrology, let's say you're reading for yourself, pull up astrology. Go to Google. You can find a million different astrology charts. Pull that up. Do your reading. Correspond what your astrology chart is saying with your cards to get a better meaning, a better answer. Since I am pagan and I believe in spells and I believe in these kind of things, in my tarot deck, I have a spell. I have symbols and it's taped. And I have something inside. This has been there 10 years. And it stays with my cards, as well as some jasmine. Stays inside. This is how my cards stay. Like this. It goes back in my bag and it gets sealed. And it gets put wherever I want to put it. Right? You hear about decks being upset or peeved. What is your thoughts on advice on that? I'm going to say it's probably the person using those decks. If a deck is not meant for you, you're going to have a difficult time reading them. I have other decks. This is just a small portion of my decks. These are decks that I use on a regular basis. I have decks that I don't use. Why do I have them? I don't know. I bought them. I can't read them. I don't get that connection with them. I've tried, so I think they're for somebody else, right? I have 4 decks that sit in a storage in my closet because I don't read them. I have no connection with them. I can't read them. They're not meant for me. So when I come upon somebody and I meet them and I show them all my cards, if they get pulled to that deck, I meant to buy this deck for them and I hand it to them. When I was doing Reiki and I was teaching Reiki and I was running it as a business, I had people that I would do Reiki on, patients that I did Reiki on. When I taught Reiki as well, I have students look at all my cards. I never sold any of them. I've always given them away because when I bought them, I didn't know why I was buying it, but obviously the cards knew I was buying it for somebody, right? I bought a deck 3 years ago. Can't read them. I tried. They're not meant for me. But guess what? They were meant for my older daughter. right? Um, yeah, that is a good question. Yeah, putting your energy into it. Exactly. It's exactly it. And Nola has got it. It's if you're angry, if you're upset, don't read. Don't read. And I say that because anger is very strong. Anger is very strong. And if you have, let's just say you're doing this for somebody and they're paying you, oh, whether they're paying you or not, and you're having a crappy day and you're kind of angry, don't read. Don't read for somebody because your anger is more powerful than anything else. That's why the word hate is a very strong word. It's got a very strong meaning and power behind it. When you say you hate somebody, you can actually feel like, someone just stabbed me in the face, right? That's why we don't read when we're angry, we don't read when we're upset, and we don't read for other people when our own life's in turmoil, because your energy is going into that. Now, if you're angry and you want to figure out how to overcome this anger, you can quiet yourself, couple of deep breaths, shuffle your cards. How? Please show me a way that I may overcome this anger. What can I do? Shuffle your cards. Lay it out. Your cards will tell you. Remember, when your emotions are all over the place, this will pull it. You can ask it for guidance. Ask it for guidance. Ask it questions. Play with them. Become part of them. And you will be better at reading. When you're done with your cards, make sure if you had people over and they're touching your cards, if you allow people to touch your cards, cleanse them, because every hand these cards go into grab energy. If you're reading professionally, you're reading for a friend, they're sitting in front of you, hand them your cards if you want, have them shuffle it, have them ask the question, and then have them give you the cards back. You cut the deck and then you lay the cards down. So there are numerous ways to read for people. If someone is directly in front of you and you don't mind them touching your cards, hell yeah, hand them the cards. Tell them to shuffle, tell them to put their question into the cards. If they want to say it vocally, say it vocally. Also think about it, put it into the cards, let them shuffle. You then take those cards back when they're done shuffling. You cut the deck if you want. You lay down the cards in whatever way you're doing. If you're doing a Celtic cross, there's 2 ways to do a Celtic cross. If you're doing 3-card spread, if you're doing a horseshoe spread, really whatever spread you're doing, you lay out the cards and then you read them. Once your reading is done, you cleanse your cards completely. Cleanse them. You want every bit of energy from that person out of your cards. When I was professionally reading, I had 4 decks specifically for people to touch. I had other decks nobody touches, but I use them in readings. Now, this is getting a little advanced, but you can use more than 1 deck to read. You can put out 3 decks. You have a customer or a friend in front of you. You're shuffling those cards for them. They're over on the internet, so you're on Discord voice. You're shuffling. You're laying out a deck. You're laying out a spread. You read that. You grab another deck and shuffle it. Or maybe you're just not feeling this deck tonight. You pull out your other deck. Maybe you're not feeling this deck either. You pull out your next deck. Right? So knocking on them, what is the significance of 3 times? In my world, Regal, in my belief system, 3 times in everything. 3 times, it's a pattern, it's a message. 3 times, the number 3 in my world for me is very powerful. 13 is my lucky number, not because it's, in a horror movie or anything like that. 13 has always been my lucky number. I believe in 3s. I believe if something is telling you a message, it comes to you 3 times. So for me, this is me cleaning out my card's energy. Another thing you can do, blowing the energy out. Your intention is what matters. It's your intention. If passing this over an incense smoke is a way that you clear your energy, then do that. Meditation, visualizing your hands, cleansing your cards with your energy, right? And it is for the goddess. Yes. The mother, the crone, and the maiden, right? That is 3. Again, but that is my religion. It's not tarot card related. That is my religion. And you can cleanse your cards any which way. You just want to make sure that energy is out of there. If that energy isn't out of your cards and you're going to shuffle and read for somebody, you're going to get some wild shit. You are going to get some wild stuff. You'll get a little bit of that person's energy in it. You'll get your energy in it. You'll get that person's energy in it. And then your reading is going to be like, what the fuck? You should try reading your spreads like a story. Let it tell you that story. And you're going to use all the visuals that you see to tell you that story. You're going to use the colors, the numbers, the way they're placed. Now, the placement of your cards also has a story. If you're just pulling one card, then you're pulling one card. If you're doing 3 cards, depending on what you're using it for, past, present, future, right? Celtic cross, 1 to 10. They all have a space. They all have a meaning in their spaces. Some people read with a significator card. A significator card represents the person you're reading. Some people like me don't use that. I just use 10 cards. So wood, the herbs, and dark cloth, you can do that as well. The dark cloth keeps energies out of your cards when they're not in use. And if people are touching your cards, cleanse them. Knocking on your cards. So, okay, when I knock on my cards, I visually see the energy dissipating. 1, 2, 3. I see the energy and dissipates. That's my visualization for my cards. Sorry, Josh has been doing a lot of readings and gets excited when he remembers something. Exactly. No. Speak away. But yeah, keep them covered. Keep them, from people touching them all the time, unless that's something that you don't mind. I have my own preference. You're going to have your own preference. Each of us are going to have our own preferences and our own thoughts on our cards and who we want touching them, who we don't want touching them, if you're going to read for other people, if you're not going to read for other people, so forth and so on. Are there any questions? Because we are coming to that time, and I'm going to honor my time and your time and end on time. And we have like 8 minutes. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Again, this video will be replayable. So if there's something that you missed, or maybe you had to leave and come back, who knows, you can do. I am planning to set up another shot call on tarot cards next Thursday. I would like to bring in exercises and spreads. Sometimes your tarot cards come with a little book, depending on what you buy. I would recommend reading that. If not, this is a book that I gave my daughter. Hold on a second. This is a deck This is a book that I gave my daughter to read. It doesn't really, it's got a bit of everything in it. It has an introduction to tarot. It's got the major and minor arcana, a step-by-step guide to reading the tarot. It gives you different spreads, like a 6-month spread, a horoscope, Celtic cross, horseshoe, calendar, tree of life, and some other sample spreads. I think whatever book pulls to you will be best. A lot of these books have the same information in them, just written by a different author. There's only so many different ways you can read tarot cards. Like this one here kind of gives you the threes, what does the word 3 mean? 3 is a number of growth and success. It is creative. Again, regal. Remember when you asked me if there was other things you can do like numerology? Boom, right here. 3, right? You can figure out what the number 3 has and holds to it. And then it goes into 3 of Wands, the reversal of 3 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles. This book I find is really good. It's the illustrated book of tarot. Discover the mysteries. It is written by Jane Lyle and is from Bounty Books. I'll also have it in the description as well about it. It's a good book. There's also, you ever hear of those books like Blank for Dummies, Coding for Dummies? They have tarot reading for dummies. They have psychic abilities for dummies, numerology for dummies. Those are some funny books. They are same thing. It's very tarot. If I remember correctly, I seen that book in chapters, and when I opened it up, it was very easy. Like, if you are somebody who doesn't have a lot of belief in yourself and you really, really need a book, I'm going to tell you Tarot for Dummies. It's an orange book with white on it. And it breaks it down very easily for you. It even has sections for you to do exercises in. I remember this because I was laughing at it because I remember those Blank for Dummy books, right? I've seen them everywhere. Now they're making them for Wicca, psychics, mediums, palmistry, tarot readings, tea leaf readings. They're doing it for everything now. And I remember seeing it a couple of weeks ago when I was in chapters. What about decks that are 30 cards or 45? The shop I have is a wholeness card deck, and other decks are strictly for astrology and ruins. Yeah, you can play with them. Same thing, same concept. Connect with them. This deck here, my Ascended Masters deck, it doesn't have a major arcana. It doesn't have pentacles. It's got Ascended Masters who've passed and moved on. It's even got Merlin, right? You have a love deck. So if you are someone who reads and you're doing this, you want to do this, you want to have an array of cards, you can buy cards for specific things. Romance cards, there are love cards. Those cards are meant for giving readings about relationships. There's career cards, which is all about reading for careers and growth in careers and jobs. I was about to ask that and you read my mind. Yeah, right, Regal? There's lots of books. Oh, do you have cards that are super, not bad per se, but have a negative meaning? You do have, in your traditional tarot deck, a lot of people look at the Tower card as a negative card, the Devil, and Death. Those are the 3 that most people feel that are negative. And they feel that they're negative because of the artwork and name. When really, the Devil is more of an addiction. And death is something in your life has to go away in order for a new to start. Tower, still, the Tower card does give me anxiety because the way the imagery looks on that card. But the Tower card is not really a negative card. I think the person reading them and how they're interpreting the card. A lot of people see the visualization of a card and think, oh my God, that card is scary. Like on my card, the Devil, like on my own tarot, the Devil card shows and he's got a pentacle etched into his forehead. Somebody looking at that doesn't understand it, we're going to be like, oh my God, that's got to be a bad card, right? It's got to be a negative card. No, it's not really a negative card. The imagery makes it kind of negative, but if you understand the symbolism in that card, it's not negative at all. So the Tower looks extremely chaotic, and usually with the Tower, it's exactly what it is. When you're reading, read what you feel, the imagery on the card, and what is surrounding it. And I can guarantee that your reading will come out smoother when you use all of it. Don't just use your feeling. Look at the imagery on the card. How is that making you feel? If you have someone that you're reading is right in front of you, look at their face. Ask them how they feel. Ask them. So with these cards being read, how do you feel? Also, sometimes you will read a card upside down because it's the way you have the spread, right? So if you have a spread and you're doing a spread, your friend is across from you, you're going to lay the cards down so they can see them. Or you can lay the cards down on your way so you can see them upright. There's no wrong or right way. It's whatever you're comfortable with. Whatever you're comfortable with. And yeah, you have any other questions? This is the only actual book I have on tarot cards, and this is the one that I give my daughter. Your tarot cards may come with a book. This one comes with a book, not just the meanings, but it actually gives me prayers to say, right? So in here, not only do I get the meaning of the card, I get a story along with who this card is. So, for example, the White Buffalo Call Woman is a First Nations deity, and it's called Peace Offerings. Not only do I get an actual description, I get additional meanings, and I get who she was in the lore. So, White Buffalo Calf Woman is a prophetess who appeared in Lakota Native Americans. She presented the Lakotas with a special pipe to amplify the power of their prayers and to bridge a connection between earth and heaven. As she turned to leave the tribe, she turned into a buffalo of different colors to signify the unity of all races of humanity. She promised that she would return to help bring unity and peace to earth. The sign of her return would be in the birth of a white buffalo calf. Call upon White Buffalo Calf Woman to instill harmony into your relationship and for world peace. So depending on your tarot deck, what you have, they may have something like this. My other tarot deck does not have anything like that. But if you are looking for a book, I like this one. It's the only one that I actually have. But go look at them, see what pulls to you. And they're all going to have basically very similar information in them because there's not that much difference from me reading a card to you reading a card. And Miss Gothic, this deck has 44 cards in it. 44 cards. And yeah, and that's our show. That's our class, really. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. Please let me know if you have. Let me know after a week. I'm going to ask you on the next course. If you come to the next course, I'm going to ask you how you're doing. And if you have me on Discord, please feel free to contact me on Discord. If you have any questions, you can comment down below. I will get back to you. I do check my comments on YouTube. I do check my Twitter. I do check my Discord. You have questions in between, please do so. We have the Witching Hour in Discord where you can go and type in there as well. The Witching Hour is meant for you guys to talk about anything you want to do, any questions. I will be here to help you. And I will also be scheduling another shot call for next Thursday, probably around the same time. And I will put that out. You'll see it in Discord. You'll see it here on Shot Call. I'll have it everywhere. Thank you so much, Ra. This was so much fun. This really helped jump over the fear of starting to learn this. I'm glad I can help you, Miss Gothic. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. That's the whole thing. Have fun. Enjoy what you're doing. No worries. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad you loved it. I'm glad I didn't waste your time. So thank you guys. I will see you tomorrow morning over on Twitch for your daily reading. Twitch.tv/Reanimator. I love your faces. You have an amazing day. Oh, by the way, we're having movie night in Discord if anyone wants to join. But I will see you guys all later. You have a great one as well. Bye-bye.